something that I just can't understand the way I behave. Some people you can never save. In my right hand, got a girl on my ear, and on my left hand, throwing back a beer. What can I say, amigo?
So you head to the St. Louis Cathedral, St. Louis number 1 cemetery. Probably all pile into the car, drive down there. Now, actually, there's a little bit of parking around there because it's right next to one of the train stations. You park at the train station parking, go up to the cemetery at the big not marble, probably they're big stone walls that go around it. They are literally 12 feet tall and topped by broken glass. I mean, they're huge. Big wrought iron gate. And you go up, the gate's open. There's a gentleman standing at the gate. He's, I don't know, young-ish, 25 maybe. You're not really sure. He's a little heavy set. He's wearing a blue shirt that says, what is this guy's name? His name is Oliver.
Okay, cool.
Do I recognize him?
Huh?
No.
If he was anybody, he's a security guard. Very obviously, he's got a little gold badge. Not as cool as your badges,
We can
but
see his name though.
yeah. But it says Oliver. You come walking up, and he says, "Are you with a tour group?"
I'm taking them in, Ollie.
Okay. He looks at you and says, "It's Oliver."
Oliver.
And he says, he's got kind of sandy hair. He looks at you and he says, well, be careful in there. We sometimes have muggers who like to hide amongst the tombs and mug people. Yeah, that would be their worst day ever.
Bad luck bandit.
You see Vault's eyes go, shing!
I wish they would.
Please? He says, and when he says that and sees your look, he kind of goes, oh, well, be careful in there. So you go in, right?
Should we ask him?
Hey, see anything, weird going on here recently? I mean, I know it's New Orleans, I know it's the St. Louis Cemetery, but anything more out of the normal than usual in the past month or two?
He says, no, everything's been pretty quiet. Not a whole lot going on here at all.
We just heard things like some weird people dropping in late at night and just this stuff like that. I just wondered if you'd heard anything about like that.
Are you checking to see whether he's telling you the truth?
Yep.
I was trying to keep an
What
eye
did you
on
do
that
for
also.
telling if someone was telling the truth?
Yeah.
Use rapport?
There's rapport. I think there's like two that work opposite of each other though.
Yeah, because I know that was
Rapport.
deceit is a thing,
Oh, yeah.
but what we want is...
All right.
What does divination do?
Not this. Okay.
empathy says reading people.
So if you've got a empathy score, that would be what you would use. It's probably going to be a... He's probably going to be using deceit. Yeah, deceit.
Yeah.
Or you could use intimidation as an interrogation tactic.
Depends on what you want to do. He might go for his taser.
I could,
Again.
Please.
I have presents. Could I, like,
Presents also.
make it, you have presents too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go. Just make, like, all of a sudden you're larger than life.
I think presence is like a
Yeah.
I guess it's whether we're trying to suss him out or whether we're trying to intimidate him or whatever into...
Let me get you to make an empathy check if you've got empathy. And he's going to make a... deceit. Okay.
It's like, well, this could hurt. Or hurt a lot.
He says, no, I haven't seen anything going on or anything like that. You're not sure. He might be telling the truth, he might not be. You don't get a really strong read off of him either way. He says, but no, I haven't seen anything going on around here. I mean, lots of tours, of course, but that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you will let us, just, anything that pops in your mind, we're going to be walking around. We'll come back. I ask you again,
Sure.
Something jogs you, Mary.
Sure.
You're a good man, Oliver. I'm glad you're on the case. We wouldn't want anybody to be out here defiling our sacred
Well, no, that's why
cemetery,
that's what they hired me to keep this place safe. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You begin wandering through the tombs. There's, of course, you see Nicolas Cage's tomb, which is the big, pyramid-looking thing. There's several other beautiful, beautiful statues. What?
Nicolas Cage's tomb?
Yeah, he's not in it. It's
He's
just
not in it,
he owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
he owns it.
Cool to know.
It's actually a very large plot, and there was a big brouhaha about the fact that he got kind of moved to the head of the line to get a plot in St. Louis #1. So, yeah. But he bought it because he had bought the LaLaurie mansion and thought it had cursed him. So,
That's awesome.
now Gabriel Beaumont has it, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And so there you go. Yeah, but there's this big, it's very much a kind of a national treasure-esque, pyramid and big round sphere that's made of stone. It really doesn't fit with most of the rest of the beautiful tombs with, statues and angels on them and stuff like that. But hey, it's Nick Cage, whatever.
I'm just looking at it going, I bet that's made of stone.
It is. It is definitely made of stone.
Poke it.
I can't do that. This is
Nah,
sacred
you
ground.
really can't. It is
But
sacred
it's got
ground.
a dead person in this, so this part isn't sacred, right?
I mean, it's ugly, but I'm pretty sure on a technicality I'd still get whacked for that.
Yeah, you'd be in a lot of trouble. But it's beautiful. That you walk around, you see Marie Laveau's grave, which has a bunch of little X's on it, and there's a few little offerings like lipstick and beads in front of it as well. And so you kind of look around. Anybody doing anything particular like
I'm just looking around to see if there's any
I want to.
any place that are like maybe people are meeting or
Okay.
I want to see if there looks like anything that looks disturbed. Any of them.
Okay, so you're investigating.
Has
as well.
anything been left behind? If they're doing some kind of ritual or something like this.
So you're again looking for investigation too.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I want to look for signs of vampires.
So specifically vampire investigation stuff. Okay.
Love it.
Mr. Darwin.
These check out his t-shirt.
It is a nice t-shirt.
It's actually a very nice t-shirt. $10 is pretty good.
I
for
like
it.
the material.
Yeah.
Do you like
See,
the
that's
southern
that's
comfort?
what I'm thinking. The material. That's what really sells you.
It's soft.
Probably won't be much shrinkage.
That's
on
right.
this one.
Yeah, if it's just vinyl on it, eventually that'll just go away and it'll be a normal shirt. You know?
Screen printing. Screen printing.
Screen print?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's pretty
never
nice.
mind
Yeah, it's actually
Imagine buying a shirt with an image on it, hoping that the vinyl will go. It's very good.
I understand. Yeah.
I just want to see if I can find any other interesting tombstones.
Give me some investigation checks all around then.
Okay. 2.
How
I
about
got a 2.
fists?
No.
Oh,
What?
that's not
I
bad.
got a 2. I don't have investigation.
All right. So Miranda, you got a 2. What were you
2.
specifically looking for?
I was looking for disturbances. If any old graves looked disturbed, or just anything in general looks not in order.
The cemetery is set up. There's an area of it that just has dirt. And it's basically where they bury the people who are not allowed to be on the hallowed ground. Okay, the potter's field kind of idea, and it's not very large. You start looking around over there because that's mainly where you would find disturbed dirt. All of it's disturbed a bit, but you notice that it's maintained pretty well. I mean, the grass is not trampled down or anything like that. The tombs, the little stones that are set in the ground, all of them seem to be intact. They don't seem to be defaced or anything like that. You don't see anything that's really setting off your warning bells or anything
And
like
with
that.
any of the older tombstones in the other area of the cemetery, anything look
No,
like
I mean,
somebody-
a lot of these tombstones are very, very old. I
Right.
mean,
So
you're
it'd be
talking
hard to know
hundreds
if
of
wear and
years.
tear or
Well, not
something's
hundreds of
been
years. Sorry, at least 100 years old. Some of them are from the 20s. Some of them from the late 1800s. But they all look okay. And again, remember that this is kind of an icon of New Orleans, so they maintain it pretty well.
okay.
They definitely do. Kylan, you were looking for fists.
Yeah, fists. I found some.
There are 2. What are you looking for?
Just like, I guess, trappings of vampires or something?
And you got a 2 as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing that you can really see. Again, the closest thing is kind of Marie Laveau's tomb and all the little X's that are drawn on it, but you don't see anything that really reminds you of any vampires. You do know that White Court vampires could come out in the daytime. And so they could, be in here, but you do see a tour group with a guide that they're walking around. He's wearing a trench coat, telling them all kinds of things about the different tombs. But yeah, it just seems pretty normal. No vampires yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Josie.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna look around and see if I can see if there's the remnants of any kind of, rituals or certain little drawings that I might recognize that people would do, and invoking spirits or things
You're
like
looking
that.
for thaumaturgy stuff specifically.
Yeah.
What'd you roll?
Do I roll again? Or
No,
whatever?
what did you roll?
2.
A 2. You're kind of wandering around looking for different ritual implements or maybe, some kind of dust that you would recognize, or if somebody's drawn a circle or a pentagram. It looks all pretty normal. There's a lot of granite, a lot of stone, and anything that had been drawn on there that could have been pretty easily erased for sure, but you don't see anything that looks like it's been drawn on or anything like that. Yeah. It's a beautiful old cemetery, though.
Okay.
Whoops, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to look around for I'm not gonna let Miranda see me. I'm gonna get a piece of one of the monuments, or maybe a little urn or something.
You can find something.
To
So
take
for your
back to
listening
do
spell?
the listening.
Yeah. Okay. You're able to find one of the urns that's kind of chipped and take the little tiny piece. It's just a little tiny piece. It's not much, but you could definitely do some thaumaturgy on it to do it. Okay. Chuck.
I'm just looking to see if there's anything like signs of people kind of gathering in certain places or stuff like that.
What'd you roll?
1.
1. Yeah, no, not that you can tell. Again, lots of stone. If anybody had left any, footprints or anything like that, you wouldn't see it on
cigarette
stone.
butts or anything,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
No, I don't see that. I mean, you even don't even see any cigarette butts. It looks like this place is cleaned up pretty nicely. So yeah.
So, I was trying to find other, interesting tombstones, and I got a 0. So all I can tell you is that the Nicolas Cage tomb is very distracting.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
There's also a really big statue in the center that is really, really pretty. It's from Easy Rider. It's the one that who is the guy?
Oh.
He's the one he was sitting in its arms. And stuff
Fonda.
like that.
Henry
Yeah,
Fonda.
Henry Fonda was sitting in its arms. But it is a very beautiful old statue. And I think it was actually created, was it a coffee magnet or something? I can't remember. It's been so long since I've been to the cemetery. But anyway, it's really nice. But yeah, you don't see any real tombstones that are interesting, but definitely the statues and things like that are very, very beautiful and old and pretty. So you spend a couple hours kind of wandering around. You don't see any muggers. You do see a couple of tour guides.
Too bad.
Yeah. And it's probably around 2, maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. Again, remember, it is cool out, so you're not hot. You're probably all of you wearing coats and things like that.
I think I'm gonna go home and
Set up your thaumaturgy
take a
spell.
nap or something, and I think I'm gonna go back there tonight and see if there's gonna be a gathering of some sort. If anybody
Okay.
wants to
I'm
join
good
in
with
on
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing
What time?
that.
You guys want to meet back here? What time?
She
Well-
said it was around 11. Let's meet here at 10. Gives us time to kind of case the place, and because I figure they'll probably show up quarter to 11, or because we know it's from 11 to 12 that it's happening.
Well, 12 to
Okay.
1 actually
I'm
is the
sorry.
witching hour.
12 to 1, but
Yeah.
she said they're getting there. She thought 11, so
Yeah. All right.
we can maybe post up somewhere nearby where we can kind of see people going in.
Lots of alleys and places where you could post up and definitely see the entrance, or there's a
Should we
couple
sort of-
entrances actually.
Have a plan to fan out and not be concentrated in one spot, or do you think?
Yeah, because it'd be bad for us all.
There are 2 entrances. There's one that's on the south side, and then there's one on the east side. So
What's around it? I haven't been there.
there's actually a railway museum. It's a train museum. Across the street there are a bunch of kind of looks like residential areas, small houses and stuff like that. And then there's kind of to the east of it, there's more houses and stuff like that. A couple blocks down is Louis Armstrong Park.
Darn
So,
goes
yeah.
but sees nothing because all he sees are the trains.
The museum guys, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll take this place.
No, I'll take the museum.
Yes.
You do notice that the cemetery is closed at sundown. They lock the gates, which magical practitioners, you know that ghosts rise when the sun goes down, that actually the sun can destroy ghosts, and so that makes sense because any spirits that would rise, you would want to lock them in about the time the sun went down. So
Fair enough.
I'll actually post up around when it closes, just before it closes somewhere.
So you'll come a little early. I think the sun goes down around about 6. Well, actually, okay, it's wintertime, probably around 5:30. Yeah, maybe 5. Yeah, the sun probably goes down around 5, so you're going to need to be there. Yeah, earlier. So,
Okay, yeah, I'll post up somewhere around there and just watch.
Okay, you can just be across the street, maybe watching the south entrance, or what?
What's the closest entrance to the Museum of the Dead?
South entrance.
Okay, I'll post around the south entrance then.
All right. Make me a
Look slightly incognito.
well, make me a stealth check. See where we are.
Oh, that's a -2.
Wow. You
Standing out in the open, staring at the south gate.
there was
In the middle of the street.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go. What's your car? Everybody's seen your
Just
car.
wishing a
That's
mugger would.
That's right.
The rest of you head back to your various places of where you live. I'm sure that probably you catch back to get your scooter and ride it back home.
Yeah.
Are you gonna set the listening device, Jody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
At some point, I figured that we probably could have done it over beignets before we were interrupted with a phone call. But I wanted to mention the fact that a couple of paranetters had disappeared around the French Quarter. And that it seems like they're pretty sure that there's some kind of ghoul activity or whatever at the docks. You being the warden and whatnot, I kind of
She needs to
figured
know
that.
That's right. She's a popo. Yeah.
Well,
We have a pending ghost apocalypse, but that's something to be aware of.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
All right. So the rest of you head back to your various domiciles, except for Volt, who stands out in the middle of the street staring at the southern entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you do.
You're kind of actually you're probably sitting in your car. Looking
that would
out.
probably make more sense.
You see Oliver come out and close the door and lock it and chain it. He very pointedly looks at you sitting in your car, and you realize you've probably been made.
Ching!
And then he goes back inside. So you realize he saw you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can I go somewhere else in stealth, or is that pretty much kind of...
No, you can go somewhere else. You may want to go to the east entrance or something like that. I mean, you can.
Yeah,
You know.
I'll do that, and I want to find, are there any, good, nice, dark, awful-looking alleys?
Do you want to... Well, okay, the sun's going down.
I'm looking to change into my half
Right.
dragon form, so I can actually have stealth as a skill.
Okay. So what I'm going to need you to do is tag one of the aspects of the area, which is definitely, once the sun goes down, one of the aspects is shadowed, because the alleys are narrow. So give me your fate point, and then you can tag that for a +2, or re-roll. So go ahead and roll for your stealth again. You can change to your dragon, okay?
Okay.
And then roll for your stealth. Actually, I'll let you keep that. You may not need to tag the aspect.
Yeah, I've got a good stealth when I'm in dragon mode.
So you can hide behind those wings.
We'll see till I get all negative dice.
Hey, then you can tag the
Then I'll
aspect and
tag the
re-roll. That's
aspect,
right. That's
yeah.
right.
I mean, everything I've rolled so far has only been blanks or negatives. Just saying. It can only go up from here.
Yeah, that's not bad. So a +3 then.
All right. You do find a shadowy alley that you can kind of slide into. You're able to park the car among some of the other cars that are in the parking lot, and you find an area where you think you're pretty well hidden as far as you can tell. I'm going to say you're probably hiding behind maybe in the shadowy area beside one of the stairs that goes up to one of the little houses. And you're able to definitely see the eastern entrance for sure.
Okay.
Rest of you go home, have some dinner. You set up your spell. You're able to get pretty good reception from the cemetery. It's a little further than the 422 is from your house. Actually, it's a little closer, so it takes a little less power. You hear a few. Go ahead.
And I'm also going to pull out this really old tape recorder thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to load a cassette because I know I'm going to be leaving. So if anything occurs between me leaving,
So you're going to record the sounds coming out. Okay. Yeah, you can do that for sure. It's one of those, tape recorders with one little handle and the one speaker, and you just, it pops up, and you hit the two buttons at once. Sound effects are free.
How long?
Yeah.
How big a cassette is it?
Yeah, well, that's a normal cassette. Reel to reel.
Those things don't last that long.
No,
a couple hours.
I know.
Yeah,
That's true.
But I don't plan on leaving.
Yeah, no.
But I don't plan on leaving too much earlier than the time I need to be there.
You just film on the Fibonacci thing, so after 2 hours, the ball comes out, hits the next one, and
it flips out, and another one slides in.
I'll probably be listening to it before I leave.
Right. You hear several tours come through right before the sun goes down. There's one last tour where this guy is talking about some of the ghost stories and the vampires in the area. He gives the story about the cassette girls and the Ursuline convent. And so then, you hear the gates kind of in the distance close and what sounds like them locking. And that's about it. So you're kind of watching. You see Oliver come over and lock the eastern gate. This time he does not seem to see you, thank goodness. All right. So Jody, you're getting all your stuff. The rest of you are heading out to the cemetery. Jody, you've been in the back. It's about 9 o'clock. You're getting all your stuff ready. It's good and dark outside. Make me is it perception? No. Make me a
Awareness.
Alertness, Jody. Yeah. Alertness check.
3.
You're in your, you just set the cassette recorder, you hit play, and you think you hear something outside your house. Someone maybe walking around outside your house. Footsteps? You're not sure.
I'm going to go look.
You leaving the lights on inside the house? You're going to turn them off so you're silhouetted against it, or so you're not silhouetted against them, or what are you going to do? Are you trying to be sneaky, or are you just going to look out the door?
I think I'm going to go ahead and just turn the lights off as if I'm leaving. Mm-hmm. Don't make it look like I'm suspicious or anything, but like I'm leaving.
Okay.
And then I'll just move. And can I tell which side of the house it's coming from?
Well, it was out front, and now it looks like it's kind of circled to the side of the house between you and one of the other houses on your block.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You gonna look out the windows maybe that direction?
Yeah.
You need a stealth check.
And I don't have any stealth.
Oh, goody. So it's a +0. That should be fun.
I have athletics.
Just how great mine was.
Mm-hmm. Well, now remember, there are some aspects you could tag.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
But roll first. Let's do that. It is definitely dark in your house. It is shadowy. So you could probably tag those aspects if you need to. That ain't bad.
Got a +1.
Okay. Do you want to tag the shadowy darkness to give you a +2?
Yes, I'll do that.
All right. Give me one of your fate points.
We need one of the only one.
All right. You peek up over the windowsill. There is someone in dark clothing walking down what looks like the driveway between your house and the house beside you. Somebody in very, very dark clothing. It's a big person.
Is it Volt?
No. It's got horns.
The Devilman?
Yeah, it looks like the Devilman. And he's walking
Is it
around.
as tall?
Yeah, probably 7-8 feet tall. Maybe, yeah, at least as tall as a Devilman. Wearing horns. You think you distinctly hear the sound of clopping of hooves on the concrete now. And he is circling your house. It goes to the back door of your house, and you hear like he's trying to open the door.
Do I assume I have wards and stuff on my door.
You have a ward, yeah. Oh, you also have you have your threshold.
Right.
which is not real strong, but it's and you hear the kind of, and then a shoulder go hit the wall. The door rattles, but it doesn't come loose. But you're worried if he gets really determined that what's going to happen.
So if he's at the back of the house, I'm gonna exit the front of the house where my bike is.
Give me a stealth check. If you're trying to sneak away from him. Which is not a bad idea. What'd you get?
A -1.
You're heading out the front door and you turn around just out of habit to lock the door.
Can I have anything to tag it? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well, you don't have any points.
Yeah.
You turn around to lock the door and drop your keys. I mean, it's just habit. You're locking your door. And you hear from the back, and then he looks like he's coming towards the front very, very quickly.
I am going to turn invisible.
Okay. Is that one of your ropes?
Yes.
What's the strength of it? Do you remember? I mean, what does he need to roll above is what it is. We should have it written on there.
+5 to see me.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. That's
Last
it.
one exchange others target number.
No, that's all I need.
Okay.
Okay. So he's going to try and see you. Fortunately, he does not have alert. Well, no, he does have alertness, doesn't he? His alertness is +2. All right. So you beat him. All right. You hear him coming around. You go, okay. I don't think you have a focus for that or something like that, and you disappear. He comes around the front, goes to the door, sniffs the air, looks around, doesn't seem to see you. You've kind of backed away from the door a little bit very quietly.
And I'm emanating not fear.
You're emanating, don't see me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're emanating not fear?
I'm not. I'm like, because you know I wore the fear brooch.
Discipline check.
Okay.
Remember, he generates fear.
I don't. GM, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. Talk to me.
This right here, you read that and tell me if this is...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
+4.
+4. Yep. All right. You seem pretty calm. You can feel the fear kind of rolling off of him, just in waves around. But you're able to kind of build your mental defenses and stuff like that. Miranda, you're getting ready to head to the cemetery, and you realize that you think you saw Della pick up a piece from one of the little burial urns there. And probably as a member of the church, you should kind of go get that from her. That's not real cool for her to, kind of defile a place.
Yeah.
And so you decide you probably need to go over there and get that from her before anything else
Take it back
happens.
to
Right.
the cemetery tonight, yeah.
Yeah, you have just walked down the street to her street, and you hear this. It sounds distinctly like a bull sound as something comes charging around, and you see what looks like the Devilman come running around the corner of her house and go up onto her front porch and start looking around. You do not see Della anywhere, and the house is dark, so you're not sure what's going on there.
Okay.
Don't call me.
No,
just kidding.
At this point, your phone probably wouldn't work either. Go.
Yeah.
That'd be it.
and it is
That
currently
would be-
standing on the front porch.
Right, looking around, sniffing the air. This looks just like the Devilman you guys killed.
Is
No stick, though.
the house dark?
Yes,
Front door open, closed?
closed.
Closed.
He kind of rattles the handle, looks around. It looks like he's looking for Della, is what you're thinking.
Right. Okay. I'm going, all right. I guess I would try to see if I could sneak in to the house through the back door
All right, so you're going to try and sneak around there. Okay, need a stealth check then. It can
to
happen.
let her know what's out here.
Yeah. Well, she may have already left, for all you know.
I have
Ooh, that's
+2. Do I have any stealth? I don't know that I have stealth as a skill. I
think
do
you're really-
not have
you're-
stealth as a
so
skill.
you
But I
got
have
a 2.
+2.
All right. See if he notices you. Wow! He had a +2 alertness, and I rolled a -1, so he got a 0. So he does not see you. You begin sidling around the house kind of quietly. You can feel the fear rolling off of him towards you, but you really, it doesn't hit you so much because he's far enough away from you. You slide up the little alleyway between her house and the house next door to the back door, and try the handle. It's locked.
Pick it, or I don't want to knock and alert him to me being back here.
Right. I'm not sure what you would use to pick a lock.
I have athletics. Just kidding.
I think there's actually a
Is
skill
there
for.
something for that? I'm not doing it.
Oh, burglary.
Yeah, because I thought about making.
yeah.
I do not have burglary.
Well, you
but
can roll. Realize it's going to be really hard to pick a lock if you don't know how to do it. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Okay.
I don't do it. I don't
You
do
begin
it.
trying to pick the lock, and you realize this is a whole lot harder than it looks like in the movies.
Okay.
Okay.
I expect you just like get like a bobby pin and just
Sarah.
stick it in.
Then you get a credit card and try, and then you realize it's sealed up tight. Yeah. So yeah.
I will pull out my phone.
Mhm.
He's on the other side of the house, right?
Right.
I will call Della.
All right.
No! Oh, wait.
No, it's okay.
That is hilarious. The one thing we don't want you to do is, this is hilarious.
Do we need to roll to see
I mean,
if my phone even
arguably
rings?
though,
Yeah.
from
I mean,
her
'cause, you know-
perspective,
I mean, this is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you are trapped in this
You must
house
be
and this
calling
thing
me.
doesn't know that
Well,
Your
you're-
phone goes off. You can have it back. For once,
That's
your magic
insane.
doesn't short out your phone. You're
That's
standing at the
amazing.
end of the
Oh,
the
God, I love
you're
it.
standing at the end of the
I love it.
porch, and you're there going, he hasn't seen me, and all of a sudden your phone goes.
Do I hear
And
it?
You do. It's well, you hear it on the run towards front. The Devilman turns and looks towards where you are.
But at this moment, looks at me.
No, looks towards where you are. He doesn't see you.
I'm yelling, "What the?" and I'm pulling my sword out.
Okay. He charges towards you, and I think this is where we do our alertness check. Oh, well, no,
Okay.
what's your alertness, Jody? So we can see when you go. You
Roll
draw your
for it,
sword.
or
Huh?
you
No,
want-
no, it's just
it's
your
just
alertness
what
is
it
just your
is.
alertness.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Let me find it.
It's under skills.
I'm not very
No, you
good.
don't.
No, don't roll. Just
Oh.
your number. Just your numbers. All you
Oh,
need.
2 plus 2.
right.
Yeah.
Plus
So you're
2.
+2. What's yours?
+2.
Okay, cool.
Let's see.
Devilman's at +2 as well. I'm gonna let you go first because you're kind of prepped for him, and he's a little distance away from you. You've drawn your sword. What are you gonna do?
I'm screaming, "What the hell?"
Dropping the phone.
Because the stinking thing never works.
All right. Oh,
The
here we
one
go.
time, the one time, it doesn't need to work.
I'm just imagining that Nokia ringtone.
Better roll, better roll,
All right.
high roll.
You remember, you're rolling weapons, okay? Okay.
Okay, okay.
That's one added to.
Weapons 3,
Mhm.
4.
All right. His defense. Do you get any bonuses to hit from your sword?
I have all those written down somewhere.
I think you just do extra damage.
Focus on. It's a 3.
Mhm.
It can be a weapon 6
Right. So that's just your damage thing.
or a fantastic 6 to a counter spell.
Right, but he's
Which
not
is-
spelling you right now, is what it is. All right, so you got a +4. He comes charging towards you, and you don't realize how fast he's going. Before you even realize it, he's inside your sword and is going to, hit you. Yeah,
No,
you missed
I
him.
wasn't swinging.
Okay.
I was holding it straight in front of me.
Okay, well then
So
when
if
you
he's
do that,
coming straight on, he's
he
gonna
comes
kill
straight
himself.
towards your sword, and
Because I'm invisible.
at the last minute, he
I think is what it is.
dodges to the left and still runs through you. Now he's only going to clip you with his shoulder, so I'm going to roll for his to hit. Yeah, he has a +5 defense. You got a +4. You missed him. That's
Okay.
what it is. All right, so he's going to try and hit you with a hip check. All right. He has got inhuman strength, so that's going to be unfun.
Okay, I know a little bit about that.
Yeah. All right. So, well, okay. What's your
When can you do maneuvers?
You could do that instead of attacking or whatever. So are you just, what were you were trying to just keep him, were you trying to run him up on your sword or what?
No, I was just holding the sword in front of me.
If he ran into
So
you.
if he ran into me, it'd hit him.
Okay. So he's attacking you. I'm trying to remember.
So I'm not sure when a maneuver occurs.
Oh, well, you would do it instead of your attack. So what are you trying to do with your maneuver, Jody? That would be the question.
Well, the maneuver I have knocks everything prone in a zone.
Oh, you're doing a spell. Okay, so so you could do that instead of pulling your sword out.
Oh, so I couldn't do both. Okay,
Right,
all right. Then
right.
I'm just gonna have the sword.
Well, okay, no, you
continue
can.
with what you're
wait,
doing.
wait. You can draw the sword and do the spell, but one of them's going to get a -1 because you're doing two things at once. So yes, you can do that. Okay. So you need to make an evocation roll, not a sword roll. Okay. So you've drawn your sword
All right.
and you're doing a spell. All right. So evocation. You're doing your
Air.
right. What strength? Is it a rope spell?
I don't know. I just wrote down whirlwind, air, knock prone, and all in zone.
That
It
is a
must be
rope spell. It's a rope. What strength is it? Or is that just?
It doesn't have a strength.
Okay,
but
'cause it's a
with
maneuver,
air is a
right?
+1 power.
Okay, so you're gonna knock him down.
So-
I'm gonna give him a might resistance to that because
So I'm guessing that maybe it's discipline plus,
give
One?
me a discipline roll real quick and let's see where you
and
are.
then I get a +1 because it's air.
Right.
Am I in the zone?
Yeah. Well, no.
I
This
mean,
would be
you're on
front
the
of
other
house.
side of the house.
Yeah.
aren't
Okay,
you?
so it's dead even, which means it's a +6.
Okay.
All planned. Is that what I look like trying to wink?
Okay. You pull the tornado up at him. Okay. You pull the sword and go. Boom! All right, what you hear is winds start whipping around up there. He hits the winds, and sure enough, it shoves him to the side to the point where he crashes into the wall of your house, and he kind of drops down to one knee because you're literally creating a little tornado. And so there's some of the plaster on the inside of your wall. You're sure you hear, and fall to the ground inside the house. So you definitely kept him from hitting you. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna take off.
Okay, and you take off. Make me an athletics check, okay?
Great. Do I even have athletics?
I don't know.
Yes, +1.
All right.
Man, I continue to roll terrible. -1.
Okay,
I have nothing, so it's a 0.
what are you doing? You hear
Okay.
the wind start to blow up front. You hear the clomping of the Devilman.
Could I probably surmise that?
He's found it.
Yeah. Okay, so I will step around from the back of the house when I hear the wind,
Mm-hmm.
assess the situation. What do I see at this point?
Okay. Now you're running. Now remember, you're still invisible. Okay.
Yes.
So you see the Devilman stagger against the wall of the front of the house on the porch and slam into it pretty hard. There's a little tornado that kind of whips up, smashes out, and then dissipates instantly. So you see the Devilman on the porch.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
You do not see Della again.
Do I know? I mean, obviously, do I know she can turn invisible? Is that something?
I don't know that you've ever
Yeah.
seen her do it though.
So
She's a wizard. You know she
I'm
does some stuff.
assuming she's in the fray at this point because of the whirlwind.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to pull out my sword and attack.
Okay, that's a good thing to do.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead. I need a discipline check to make sure. Do you have discipline or conviction?
I have conviction.
You use conviction on this one.
Okay.
Because the Lord is your shepherd.
6.
What? Oh, you're fine. You're not scared.
Okay.
All right, good. All right, so you leap over the railing. Okay, one hand to leap over the railing and attack. Make me a weapons check.
That's gonna be a 4.
All right. Unfortunately, he has a defense of 5. So you leap over the railing, come sailing towards him. You pull your sword out and attack. He sees you at the last minute and very nimbly for a 7-foot-tall Devilman rolls out of the way and kind of rolls up to his feet.
He didn't get knocked prone?
Well, he did, but he's just kind of moving out of the way. Oh, I guess he is prone. If you want to, you could tag that aspect for a +2.
Yeah.
because he is
Or a
prone.
reroll.
Or a reroll.
I'll get the +2 because if he's got 5 and I rolled 4, that's 6.
Yeah,
so
right.
Yeah.
All right,
it's
so
guaranteed versus.
very good. So he is on his knees. Instead of him rolling out of the way, you come leaping towards him, realizing he's down a little bit. You stab him with your sword. Let's see. Your sword does what damage?
Piercing.
Well, how much is what I'm asking for.
6.
I think
Piercing
plus.
damage, that's
Is it?
It'll
is
tell
this,
you on this somewhere, wherever your equipment stuff
Or 8.
is.
I think it's +6.
I just have. I mean, is it my number that's this? My weapons number?
Well, it's like you have weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, because your weapon has a damage rating.
Okay,
That's what I'm
so
looking for.
I think it was a 3.
I'm
that
pretty
we
sure it's a
established.
3, right.
Is it the same as mine?
I don't know.
Swords.
But this should be written on your paper somewhere.
Swords.
'cause you have a
Yeah, I
magic
should have
sword.
written it down. I have +1 on this. It's a weapons 2 normally, and then I have a +1 added. But so
I
is
think
that?
it's
probably
3.
what-
I'm thinking it's probably 3.
I'm gonna go ahead and write that down because for whatever reason.
You sure it's not on the other paper? Are we missing a paper?
Oh yeah. Well, no, that says -3. That's how much it cost me.
Right. Well, let me look real quick.
When you first play D&D, you have all these boxes.
I
you don't know
I should have
anything
written this
means.
down multiple times, but
And
because
you
I
have
feel
to
like this
read it
comes up
over and
every
over.
time we go into
What?
combat, and
That's
I
all right,
forget.
no worries.
But I'll write it in pen this time, so I remember.
Well, it's only been 6 weeks since we've played.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
It's accidental every time.
You have to do the big.
All right. Let's see.
No, you have to.
Why do I have to?
Because I said so.
Oh,
All right.
just out of spite.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize that you're the one who had the duck.
Ah.
I thought that Jody did. She was just carrying on her conversation like nothing happened. I was like,
That'd have been.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
That is.
I found out the feet are really easy for it.
Okay, so for your sword, it counts as the when facing an opponent may spend a fate point to ignore their defensive abilities. So you could do that. It takes the place of whatever that is that creature has a weakness to, the catch, but it costs you a fate point. You're not afraid of him, so you don't need to do that. Your sword also may only be swung with true selfless purpose in mind and heart, which is not a problem. It's holy. There are a lot of things that are affected by holy, so that's good. It's a sword. Woo. So it also has true aim, which gives you +1. It's unbreakable. So it has a damage
I can
of
go through stone.
no, it doesn't. Yours does spells. So it's a damage of 2. So you beat his defensive roll by 1, and then have a 2 damage with your sword. So you do 3 damage to him. Is what it
Okay.
is. Okay, there we go.
And it satisfies the catch if I spend a fate point.
Right. But it's also holy. Like there's a lot of things that if something's holy,
It's probably already naturally.
right? Which you're probably sure a holy sword is going to defeat a Devilman.
Gotcha. What does satisfying the catch do again? It just-
If he has a defensive ability, something that makes him take and he does.
Okay.
He's physically immune to all attacks from people who are scared of him.
Gotcha.
You don't have to worry about that
Right.
because he's also weak against holy things.
okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I started running to move away from him.
Right.
Would I hear this? Her like jumping on and doing this? I mean,
Possibly if she gives out some kind of rah! Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, if
Um,
I hear somebody
sorry.
fighting, I'll go
Yeah.
back.
Well, and
But-
you also heard the Devilman let out a bellow as she gigs him
Okay.
probably in the arm with her
So
sword.
I'm gonna. I didn't know how far I would have moved.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back, and
Right.
what do I
He's
see?
still on the porch. Okay, so that brings us back around to +2s again. I'll let you. You're close to him now, so I'll let you go first. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, having stuck him in the arm, I'm just gonna swing again. And be like, "Begone, vile beast!"
Mhm.
Okay, that is a 5.
That'll tie him. Okay, which means you hit, but you're gonna have a minor consequence, as in
Okay.
extended and off balance, which he could possibly tag to get a bonus against you.
Okay. Minor consequence. Where do I mark that?
No. It's not
Oh,
a
we
minor.
don't
It's just it's an inconvenience. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It goes away after 1 turn.
Okay.
All right, so you take a swing at him, but when you do, you're going to be mildly off balance. You do a 2-point hit on him this time, which is good.
Right.
Okay, and so but when you do, you're going to have to kind of extend yourself because he looks like he's been kind of cagey and dodging back. And so you don't think while you hit him, you definitely have left yourself open for a counterattack.
Gotcha.
Which we're going to go with him now. His attack. Ooh. Okay, so even. He gets a 5. What is your, let's see, weapon skill?
5. Well, do I count my sort of the cross +1, or is this just the weapon skill for my defense?
That's a good question.
Because it's 6 with
No,
the
it
sword
does give
and
you
the
a
cross.
+1 to your weapon skill, so yes.
So it's 6.
So it's 6, okay. So he comes across at you. He does not have a fate point to spend. Or does he? Nah. All right, so he's not going to spend his fate point this time. He comes across at you, takes a swing. You block it off on the sword, and he lets out another bellow. And again, you see this weird pinkish blood that comes flying off of it's just too white.
This is the Devilman that we fought before.
Seems very much like
Okay.
it. Yeah. Yeah. So you know he comes across and you do that. All right, now Jody, you're coming up off the back up onto the porch, right?
Yeah.
You are still invisible for this round.
I'm going to throw ice knives at him.
Okay, make your roll with your. I believe is that your rote, right?
Yes.
What's your normal attack? What damage does it do?
It's power +5.
Okay, so you'll hit him.
Okay.
All right, and what is the damage that it
I have
does?
no idea. It just says they have to make an athletics skill.
Okay, so he gets to defend, or does he? Or it's based off athletics. Okay, so his athletics is only fair. Oh, that's right. He doesn't have his weapon, so his defense is much, much lower. Aha.
So maybe he took more damage from
Yes, he did.
Miranda.
He sure did. Because you beat him. Let's see, you got a 5.
Yeah, I got
So you did 5 points
a.
of damage
The
to
first
him.
time I spent a fate point to get 6,
Yeah.
which was
Okay, so he's taken a lot. Some of his higher ranking things have gone away then. All right, so Jody, you're doing an ice knife at +5, right? He's going to have to use athletics, so you beat him by 3, which means I believe you do. Let me see.
8 million
No,
damage.
that's called
Sounds
a.
amazing.
Where is it at? I beat him by
Yeah, so
3 is good.
So you would do 3 points of damage to him with your ice knives.
Okay.
Okay. Or you can spend, for one shift, you get a weapon rating of +1. Let's see. Now, you're going to take a minor, you're going to take 1 point of stress. Oh, actually, you should have taken 2. 1 for the last spell and 1 for this. Actually, 3. So you've taken 3 stresses. Because you turned invisible, threw a tornado.
How do I mark this? Do I start at the 4s and work my way to the 1s?
No, do 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've taken 1 at the 1 point.
I guess that would be mental.
Oh, mental, yeah.
I really was going to put it in social.
Just put an X on it.
Okay.
So it's easier to erase.
All right.
Okay. All right. So you hitting for 2, Jody.
But
Or
how's
3.
that?
Yeah.
But you said I have to take 3 stress.
You take 1 stress for turning invisible. I forgot to tell you that. 1 for throwing a tornado, and then
Okay.
1 for doing your ice knives. It's mental.
Oh, it's all mental?
Yeah. So you've taken 3 stress boxes, which means you're getting tired.
All right. Okay.
Throwing
right.
spells is hard work.
yes.
All right. So the Devilman has already swung and missed on you. You've hit him. All right. This brings us back around to +2s again. Which one of you wants to go first?
We're all +2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think you technically attacked before I did, so.
Yeah.
I guess I could
Okay,
go
go
again.
for it. Yeah.
All right, another swing. Please be good. Ugh. It's a. What is this? Nothing.
5.
Nothing. Yeah, 5.
5. Okay. So you still hit him. Okay. So you're doing 5 points of damage to him. All right. You're going to roll up to this stress box then. All right. He lets out another bellow, and I think this time he's going to try and grapple you. What's your athletics?
+3.
Okay. So he's going to do a maneuver.
Maneuver.
Wow. +3. He received a 3. I think this is the point where he's going to tag that aspect off balance. And he does manage to get you. He grabs you. Because he has inhuman strength, you take 2 damage. All right.
Where do I mark?
That's under physical stress boxes.
Okay.
Okay. So you mark. No. Just mark the second box. Okay.
This?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Well, what it is when you take a 2-point stress hit, you mark the circle under the 2. Okay. You don't mark the first and the second. Right.
Oh, just
Each spell you did does
you.
1 stress to you. So the first spell you did marked your 1 box. Second spell was your second box. Third one. So
Gotcha.
you just take a 2
Because
stress
there's no
hit.
other 1 box.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
gotcha.
Right. Because if your 1 box is already filled in, you have to roll off.
Right.
Right. That's why when she hit him for 5, his 5 box was already full, so he had to roll up to his 6. Well, his 6 was already full, so he had to roll up to his 7 because he has a lot of stress boxes. Yeah. Okay, so that brings us to you, Jody. Now, the Devilman has grabbed Miranda, so be careful about doing any ice knives. You might hit her too
I'm just gonna stab him.
with your sword. Okay, go for it. Make
You
your
still
weapons
invisible?
check. No, she just pops into being right now. It only lasts for like 2 turns.
Dang!
That's cool.
Wow.
I'm a reroll.
What? No, what? Okay. What aspect are you tagging?
Rage.
Rage. Oh, you have an aspect called rage.
I have icy rage.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
right.
even better.
Yeah, even better. All right. That's
Crap.
better.
You got a little better.
Yeah.
+2.
All right, you tied with him, which means you would do the damage of your sword, which is 3, unless you want to tag it to do the +6, which is ludicrously bad.
I don't have another.
To tag, right?
Do you have to use a fate point to do that?
You tell me. Tell me. I mean,
Lord, guys.
I know to tag an aspect you need a fate point.
Yeah, no, I'm
Is that
talking
what
about
we're
your.
talking about?
No, I'm talking about her special sword.
oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought you were
Because
talking about.
I thought like once or twice
no,
per.
I thought you were talking
per-
about something
No.
differently. Okay, hang on. Let me.
Because
find
normally it
something.
does a damage of 3,
Hang
but
on.
Every once in a while.
He's just
it's
explaining it.
Okay,
once
yeah.
per session you can. I
So
think,
it can be a
double that.
weapon 6. No, it's 3 times per session. I can do it.
Oh,
3
okay.
times. So it's a 6.
All right, so you're gonna make it 6. Okay. So that's gonna roll up to his 8 slot. Good lord. He's got his 1 and his 2 slot. You guys have just been smashing this guy left. You skewer him with your sword. He lets out a huge bellow of rage, and okay. All right. So next round, I'm gonna have the Devilman. I need you to make a might check, Miranda.
Might. I don't have might as a skill,
all right.
so we'll see how it goes. Is might? Would it say might or would it be like athletics?
It would say might.
Okay.
Yeah, see, Kylan has lots of might.
1.
Okay. The Devilman takes you and flings you like a rag doll across the into basically the chain link fence between Jody and you go through spilling. You go spilling through the railing of the porch into the chain link fence. Let's see.
I think I do that blood cough thing.
Right.
with anime, just-
You're gonna. How much? What is your physical
I've
stress?
only taken 1 stress on my 2 box.
Okay, that's fine because you're about to take 6. So you're gonna mark off your 4.
Okay.
Okay, and you got 2 left over, so you're gonna take a minor consequence. Okay. That's down in this area. Okay.
Alright, so mild.
No, minor, yeah, or mild, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Now, nice
and
thing
that
about
says -2, so that takes up both of those.
right,
Okay,
perfect.
okay.
So the mild consequence you have is probably dazed, since he's thrown you through a porch into a chain link fence.
Okay.
Dazed, concussed,
I was
maybe.
gonna say concussion.
Yeah, concussion. Yeah, you're definitely dazed and concussed. So that's what he does. Now you still get to go. What do you want to do?
Okay.
Your
Stand
bell has
up.
been rung. Yeah.
Shake it off. Check the tendonitis. I see Della now, right?
Right. Yeah, you see Della.
And you're
She's just stabbed him, so she's
Della?
close to him. Yeah.
okay. I'm gonna run back into the fray and, I'll say, is he still prone?
No, he's up
No, he's up.
because he
Okay,
grabbed you. He slung you over there, and then he's spun towards Della. Yeah.
Okay.
I tell
Is
you
that-
what. Actually, do this. take that level 4 stress that you took and move it into a level 3.
Okay.
Okay, because he's going to take a second action, which is not a combat action.
Oh,
So
fun.
you and so he has -1 to his damage.
Oh.
So to his roll. So what happens is, because you get a movement action, all right, you can move up to 1 zone unless you make an athletics check, and then you can move possibly more. So he's going to make an athletics check. He's getting ready to bail on you guys. All right. Yeah. Okay, so he got a 2. He flings you to the side and then leaps over the railing and begins running down the street. Now, what you see is the further...
Towards me or away? Away.
What you see is the further he gets from the house, he just fades out of existence, and then eventually there's just kind of a black smoke and he's gone.
You okay?
Yes, just a minute. I need to check my phone.
It's Miranda.
It was you.
I thought you were in the house. I didn't see you, and I thought he was creeping, so I was trying to...
I was on the porch, invisible.
Okay, well, you were invisible.
She's pretty banged up. You probably want to get her inside.
I know, but I just had
and
to tell her that.
give her some
Okay, so,
aspirin.
yeah.
All right.
I'm
so
going to take her inside, lock the doors.
now a mild consequence will begin healing. It'll basically be there. We would change it to probably that instead of being concussed, you're bandaged or something like that. And what'll happen is halfway. Let me see. Mild consequence. I believe when you take a mild consequence, it
So I
goes
guess
away.
He didn't die.
Huh?
Maybe he didn't die because the
So
his staff. is
your
still-
recovery has started because she's giving you that, but it'll last for 1 scene. So basically,
Okay.
halfway through the next scene, you're no longer going to have that consequence. Now, it doesn't cause you any problems unless you take some
pops
more
off.
of them. So yeah. Now, guys, it is 9:15. So since we got started a little slower because I didn't hit the right button on the camera, so there we go. Today on the Dresden Download, we're going to talk about the Swords of the Cross. Now, in our last Dresden Download, we talked about the Knights of the Cross, and that there are 3 of them at any time that wield the Swords of the Cross. They're sometimes called the Knights of the Sword. And the 3 Swords of the Cross are holy weapons, holy relics of ancient age. The first one is Fidelicius, which is known as the Sword of Faith. Now, currently in our game time, Fidelicius is owned by Harry Dresden. The former wielder, Shiro, died and gave it to Harry Dresden for safekeeping. Another Sword of the Cross is Amaracius, which is the Sword of Love. And Amaracius is currently being wielded by Michael Carpenter, except I believe in our timeline, Michael Carpenter has retired, and Amaracius is also being held by Harry Dresden until he can find a wielder for it. The only Sword of the Cross that is being wielded in our timeline is Esperacius, which is the Sword of Hope, also known as Durandal, which is wielded by Sonya, who is the Russian, who is a Knight of the Cross. Now, if you know, in our game, Miranda also wields a Sword of the Cross, which sometimes we've called Esperacius or Durandal. Why are we calling it that? Well, in this episode, you'll notice that Gabriel Beaumont notices that her sword is almost an exact identical sword to Esperacius, except instead of having a sun on its tang nut, it has a moon. So does this mean that this is a 4th Sword of the Cross? Does this mean that it's a fake? I mean, in the Dresden Files, even fakes can have tremendous amounts of power. Or is it something else? Well, you'll have to wait and see. That's it for the Dresden Download.